Alright, welcome back to the Pac-Man garage. So I pulled my carry bearing bracket back out of the truck. I'm going to try to straighten out the drive line a little bit. This is the bracket that I've sourced from the junkyard, modified it a little bit. I'm just going to get rid of the height of that altogether and go just a flat plate and see where my drive line looks after that. So I'm going to start by cutting out the plate. I've got it traced out of how much metal I need to cut and make a bunch of noise, get to cutting. Well, I got it cut out, and you can see my basic shape there. So I got to go through and drill some holes now. That'll be the next step, and maybe kind of deburr a couple edges a little bit. But so we're going to start with center punch. That is a Matco CP6 center punch. I will link the part number, link for the tool in the description below. That is thick metal, so we're going to take our time and drill slowly, and we'll see how this goes. The threaded boss on the factory bracket, I need to get a nut that will duplicate that, and then I'll get it welded on back here. But overall, everything's lining up like it should. Got all the holes in it, and then it'll get painted after we get the welds done. I got a little bit of thinning to do here for my nutserts. This is for my gas tank skid plate, if you will, the protection plate from the drive shaft. They're a little bit, this plate's a little bit thicker than that one was, so I need to thin that down by about maybe 1/8 of an inch or so I can get those to slide on properly. And then we'll be ready to rock and see how this thing does. I got a little bit more deburring to do and probably round off some corners a little bit, but happy with where we're at with it. Just got back from having the 2 nuts welded on my bracket, so I'm going to shoot this thing in black paint and get it installed. We saw the grinding for my J-nuts. It's nice and thin. I can get the J-nuts installed now. So we'll get some paint on it, and we're just about ready to go back together with it. Alright, got it back. Got it painted. Got my J-nuts installed. Everything's happy. So we're going to get it installed in the truck, and why don't you come with me? And last but not least, the drive shaft installed. And then now, our last step to getting this installed, making sure that the drive shaft is still true and straight. There's a laser beam down the center of the drive shaft, or center of the drive line, I should say. And will allow me to make sure that I'm still centered on this bracket, because there's a little bit of adjustment on that. Front part of the drive shaft comes down slightly, front half goes down slightly, and then from there it goes up slightly to the back. So it's a lot better than the working angles it was working at. I'm hoping that'll help with some of my symptoms with related to the driveline. So there's the bracket all sitting happy. Yeah, we'll get it back together and on the ground and see how it goes. So I've been busy out in the garage. I got a couple things I'm going to show you that I've been working on. First thing I did is I picked up a somewhat clean painted bumper out of the junkyard. It's going to need a little bit of recon work and obviously need to be painted, but tore it down. I'm going to see if I can't work a couple of little dents out of it, and we'll get it painted whenever I get the rest of the stuff painted on the truck. So down here we have a pile of plastics and parts, and that goes along with my donor steering wheel for the Coyote swap. So what I did was I removed the steering wheel switches, and this is clock spring and steering column control module that have been hacked up and downsized. So I have half of the steering wheel switches here that I don't need. It's all pertaining to Bluetooth and audio and radio stuff. And then climb in the truck here. And I currently have the steering wheel switches by themselves. I need to find out if cruise control is going to work or not before I try to figure out if I can integrate that into the vehicle. And then this is not beautiful, but this is what's left of my clock spring and my steering column control module. So those are just hanging out where the radio goes for now until we can do some further testing. I can't believe I hadn't actually tried to see if the cruise control works yet. So my next time I have her out, that'll be on my to-do list when I'm driving. So I've been trying to tidy up some of my loose ends here along the way. Another quick project I got done was mounting my donor OBD2 port. Mounted it inside the pocket down here. Figured out a way to squeeze it in there without getting into hacking up a bunch of interior clearancing and all that. So found a way to squeeze it in there. It's probably not my first choice of place, but without having to completely fabricate a whole bracket just to hold that, it works out okay. So got that done. I probably won't do a time lapse, but over here I've got some black seatbelts I ordered. So I'll get those installed here next couple days. Should be all four for my Super Crew. So I probably won't do a time lapse or anything fancy with that, but I think that'll help complement the interior a little bit. And my factory seatbelts have seen better days. They're kind of slow to retract and sometimes just kind of hang up and don't really do what I want them to do. So, and they're pretty gross looking. So I know you can clean them, but I'd really rather have black anyways. So that's all I've got right now. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos, and feel free to share them with your friends. I'm not one that begs for likes and subscribing and all that. I really don't care. I'm putting out the content I want to put out, and if you like it, great. If not, cool. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me and checking out my truck with me. Thanks. Bye.